this week, local authorities are reminding motorists of proper conduct in school zones. Clinton Police School Resource Officer Cody Mayer reminds to be mindful of school buses and those areas around school buildings.
First of all, once again, just pay attention. I wrote a good handful of tickets this year because, like I've said before, usually I like to be pretty lenient with warnings and things like that, but I'm charged with the safety of our children in this town as a school resource officer. If it's an offense where it puts the safety of a child at risk, I'm going to write that ticket. I just am. So the crossing guards, big thing that we see with those, some people is just not paying attention. Some people don't care. Some people are in a rush. The other ones we see are the crossing guard will get out there, they'll get the child to cross, and then the car will go because the child's crossed. Well, yeah, our utmost importance is the safety of that child, but we care about the safety of that crossing guard as well. Legally, you cannot cross that and continue until the crossing guard's off the street as well with his sign or his or her sign down. So we care about the child's safety. That's our biggest concern, but also we care about that crossing guard's safety as well. We want to make sure that they can do their job safely, and they should be able to feel like they can do their job safely.
Many motorists trying to be cautious around school buses that may be stopped in front of the school building but don't have the stop arms out get confused about what they're supposed to do in those situations. Chief Ben Lowers and Officer Mayer remind what the signals on the buses mean.
So there's a two different color lighting system on there. When it's just the yellow flashing lights, they're parked. You're supposed to be yielding. You're supposed to be being careful as you approach. When the stop arm comes out and it turns into the red and yellows going back and forth, that's when you have to stop. And that's both lanes of travel. Some people think it's just the lane that's coming the same way. No, that is, you both lanes of travel have to stop there.
That is, I myself have found myself in that conundrum when I'm coming up, westbound or eastbound, I guess, on Main Street, and you've got a line of buses there, and their lights are flashing, but they don't have the stop arms out. Well, they're quite frankly, they're in waiting mode at that point, waiting for the students to come out. You can pass with caution, with extreme caution, because you are in a school zone, but you can pass with extreme caution. But when those stop arms come out, yes, it does. It stops traffic both directions.
According to Chief Lowers, there was a time with the violations that were chronic around school buses, but efforts to enforce those rules in recent years, in addition to better technology on the school buses, have reduced those incidents.
I'm not going to say daily. There was a time I felt like they were daily, but those bus drivers are very cautious. They are very in tune, and I'm telling you, they're also equipped with cameras on several of them, if not all of them.
Very good quality cameras.
and I will tell you that if they do have a violation, that is reported to us right away, and we do follow up on those. I do believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe that particular law allows for the prosecution of the registered owner of the vehicle regardless of who's driving it, if necessary. So that is a very proactive, tolerant-free statute that we just have to enforce because of the safety of those children.
Sure.
Yeah, and I can tell you that I've kept track with the cases of the tickets I wrote for this year, because it's not a standard $164 traffic ticket fine. It is a mandatory court appearance that the judge sets the fine, and I was curious, what are those fines going to be set at? So I kept track from this year just so I can let people know. About the usual is about $500 what you're walking out the door paying.
Wow.
Some people that have more extensive driving records, though, I mean, that judge gets to set the bond sometimes, or the fees. I've seen them go up to about $1,000.
Wow.
And with the school bus stop arm one, if you violate that one, your driver's license will be suspended for 3 months if you're convicted of it.
Wow.
People don't realize that. You cross that path of that bus while it stop arms out, you get your license suspended if you're convicted. And those cameras, like we've said, are very good, and I've been able to find people just off the camera footage.
Very stringent penalties for those offenses,
Sure.
and rightfully so.
Coming up tomorrow with Officer Mayer, we'll hear his experience from his first year in the schools and some of the things facing our teens as school returns to class this week. A community center in Clinton is ready to kick off the new school year. On the WHOW Morning Show Monday, Executive Director of the Vault in Clinton, Tammy Wilson, says they are hosting a fall kickoff event. It's a disco Thursday for junior high students and Friday for high school students. They'll also have their Wild West Jailbreak fundraiser coming up on Saturday, September 7th.
Our kickoff event is this Thursday. It's our junior high kickoff from 5 to 8 p.m. It's a disco. We're doing a disco theme, so come dressed 70s, 80s, whatever. And then same with high school. It's on Friday night from 7:30 to 10:30. And then our normal programming, the buses will bus kids on Mondays and Tuesdays to the vault. But if parents want their kids to do that, they have to turn in a bus form at the junior high. We are doing our annual fundraiser. It's called the Wild West Jailbreak, and it's going to be so much fun. It's on September 7th from 10 to 3, and we're looking for people who will be able to raise bail. Yes, we're bringing that back. So if you know of anybody that you want to nominate for a jail breaker, criminal outlaw. Oh, we're calling them outlaws. Yeah. Let us know.
If you'd like to volunteer for any programming or just register for programming, visit the vaultclinton.org. That's thevaultclinton.org, or call 217-934-4003. There's a new way to improve internet speeds in Clinton. Miranda Lovett is the public relations manager for Conxxus and explains the information traveling through fiber optic glass is a faster option compared to copper cable internet.
Conxxus does internet, phone, and TV services. It's all fiber optic, so fiber backbone. I'm just making it a better connection. It's kind of the next in technology, kind of like how back in the day, you know, the flip phones were the biggest thing. Now it's the touchscreen. This is kind of doing that for internet. So it's the next thing in technology for all the things to come, all of the devices to come, all the gaming to come. It's just something you're going to need, so we're just trying to move to that direction. Most people have more cable stuff, so like copper backbone kind of things. This is glass. So fiber is glass, and it travels through light. So obviously light goes through glass very quickly, so it's just very quick, faster speeds, and it can offer that fast speeds, faster sending out things, getting things in, more than copper can.
Conxxus offers internet, phone, or television, and they have many options depending on your price range and desired speed. Get more information at Conxxus.com. That's Conxxus, CONXXUS.com. In addition to the Wilkey complex in Monticello is about a month behind as school starts this week. On the WHOW Morning Show Monday, Superintendent Adam Clapp told Regional Radio the project was slowed by a summer that wasn't great for concrete or bricklaying.
So it's behind. We had a really odd, I guess, weather summer when in terms of rain. It was a great summer for growing grass. It was not a great summer for doing brick and mortar work, concrete work. So we're delayed probably about a month. So we were anticipating having the facility right now, but because of the timing of rain and different weather mishaps, it kind of got pushed. We had some lead times kind of come into play as far as our HVAC unit. We've had to wait on that. So that's kind of delayed our flooring install. And you can't move the weight equipment in if you don't have a floor in. So it's kind of just a domino effect. But overall, it hasn't affected what we do on a daily basis here at the high school. So we told the builders last week, like we want it, when we take it over, we want it completely finished. It's likely going to be another month.
According to Clapp, the facility needs the HVAC still set up. Once that is complete, he points out they're going to keep the facility for now as a students-only facility. It was a wet, cool week in Illinois last week. In this week's crop report, state crop statistician Mark Schleusner says 5 days were suitable for field work.
Weather conditions were cool and wet across Illinois last week. Temperatures averaged 72.9 degrees, and that was 1 degree below normal. Rainfall averaged 1.2 inches, and that was almost 1/3 of an inch above normal. There were 5.3 days suitable for fieldwork around the Prairie State last week, and topsoil moisture was rated 4% very short, 14 short, 79 adequate, and 3% of topsoil moisture is surplus.
96% of soybean acres are blooming, while 89% of acres are setting pods. Schleusner points out the crop did decline slightly.
96% of soybean acres are now blooming compared to 96 1 year ago, and 95% for the 5-year average. 89% of acres are setting pods compared to 79 normally. Soybean conditions declined slightly and were rated 9% very poor to poor, 21 fair, and 70% good to excellent.
According to Schleusner, the corn crop is ahead of schedule, and he notes there are starting to be reports of mature corn.
85% of corn acres have reached the dough stage compared to 77% 1 year ago and 75 normally. 40% of corn acres have reached the dent stage compared to 27 normally, and 1% of corn acres are mature.
Pasture conditions were rated 65% in good to excellent condition. We streamed to Facebook and YouTube this morning. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Coming up in sports on this Tuesday, the Clinton High School Band is turning back the clock in its performances this fall. We hear from band director Nathan Wheeler coming up in sports. Get the latest in local news, sports, police blotter, obituaries, and information anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Come see me, Jay Peterson, your auto owner's insurance agent at 117 West Main in Clinton, or call 935-6605.
This is Seth Lawrence, News and Program Director for WHOW and WEZC. We take pride in being Clinton and Central Illinois' local radio stations each and every day, 7 days a week. What does local news mean? Here's a sample.
We could have something by late fall.
We happen to qualify for one of their grants because we are our county, as he calls it, is an audiology desert.
Our department adjutant announced his retirement, and I applied in March and wound up getting the job. Once I applied and started thinking about it more, I really got excited about it, and I'm glad I got the opportunity.
Be ready for, wind damage.
You hear the local people that make the news every day, 7 days a week on the big 1520 AM, 92.3 FM, and 106.5 FM WHOW, and on the station playing America's best music, 95.9 FM WEZC.
Congress is poised to pass a bill to keep AM radio in cars, but time is running out. 82 million Americans risk losing the news, sports, talk, traffic, and vital emergency information they rely on. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress to pass this bill now.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
496. With SRN Sports, I'm Andrew Stewart. Winners in baseball yesterday. The Texas Rangers beat the Pittsburgh Pirates for their second straight win.
Corey Seager homered twice, drove in 4 runs to lead the Texas Rangers to a 4-3 win over the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Rangers' second consecutive win, while the Pirates have lost 12 of their last 14. It was Seager's third multi-homer game of the season. He now has 9 home runs in August and 28 home runs overall on the season. Texas manager Ruth Bochy says Seager was the difference in this one.
What a game. He pretty much carried the mail, didn't he, tonight? And it's what great players do. It was set up, though, with Jonah's head and, of course, Marcus with the big double there. For the 3-run home, took a couple lone balls to win this one.
Jose Urena threw 4 scoreless innings in relief of starter Dane Dunning to pick up the win. Bob Stevens, Arlington, Texas.
Meanwhile, winners of the National League yesterday, Arizona over Miami, 9-6. American League winners include Houston. This is SRN Sports. In college football, a high-profile transfer headlines this year's AP preseason All-America team.
Ohio State safety Caleb Downs and 3 of his teammates have been selected to the Associated Press preseason All-America team. Downs was joined by guard Donovan Jackson, receiver Emeka Abuka, and cornerback Denzel Berg to give Ohio State the most first-team selections. Number 1 Georgia and number 9 Michigan each had 3 players picked for the first team. Quarterback Carson Beck was joined by Bulldogs guard Tate Ratledge and defensive back Malachi Starks. The defending national champion Wolverines are represented by tight end Colston Loveland, defensive tackle Mason Graham, and cornerback Will Johnson. I'm Gethin Coolbaugh.
In the NHL, the Columbus Blue Jackets trade forward Patrick Lane to the Montreal Canadiens in exchange for defenseman Jordan Harris and a second-round draft pick in 2026. With sports, I'm Andrew Stewart.
Time now for a look at sports. I'm Seth Lawrence with this report. The Clinton Marching Maroons will be turning back the clock this fall. Clinton High School band director Nathan Wheeler says his band has been hard at work preparing for a show full of classic Disney songs for fans this fall.
Yeah, so we had a fantastic week last week at Marching Band Camp. We got a ton of stuff done. We have 120 out on the field this year between the band and the flags. And we're doing a Disney-themed show since this is a trip year for us. So we were working on some more modern Disney songs that you will recognize from some of the Disney movies of the 2000s. But we had a great week. Weather cooperated great, and we were able to not only get our show ready, but we were also ready to get ready for the Apple and Pork. We have a big performance that comes up there Saturday morning. I can tell you I don't want to give away all our secrets because I want the people to come out and be surprised, but I can tell you to look for little Easter eggs in the show there that are nods to Mickey Mouse and to Walt Disney and to the movies that our songs come from themselves. I'm really enjoying our opener is You've Got a Friend in Me from Toy Story. And, of course, those go back through my childhood. And, we've had so many of those Toy Story movies that I grew up with them and the kids have grown up with them. So I think that it universally, I think, appeals to a wide audience.
Wheeler has a trio of drum majors that returned from last year. He says numbers in the program this year are very strong, so he leans on his drum majors and their experience.
So all three of our drum majors this year are returning from the previous year. We were very fortunate that we had young ones last year, and they're doing an exceptional job, and they're going to be ready to go for not only the show, but also for Walt Disney World. And we've got some great section leaders as well. With 120 kids, as you can imagine, it really takes a full team to be able to operate, and I couldn't do it without my drum majors and my section leaders, and of course Jeff Hendricker, our associate band director as well. Emma Linebaugh is a senior this year, and she plays clarinet and is looking to major in music education. Missy Hale is also a senior. She's a percussionist, very versatile in everything that she does there. And then our junior drum major is Sienna Brinkhotter, and she's also a percussionist. And so I think that that percussion background gives them a lot of flexibility on the things that they're able to do. But all three are great kids and working super hard.
It is Wheeler's hope the show will be ready for the first football game of the season on Friday, August 30th. He says his kids know the challenge in front of them and credits his experienced senior class for leading the way.
Well, I tell you, we hit it fast and furious because the 7th day of school is when our first home game is supposed to be. So we'll probably be working like crazy to try to review many of the things that we learned at band camp, and we're kind of in a knock-on-wood situation about the field being ready. It's supposed to be, and we're really excited about that new artificial turf field and being able to perform there. And then we turn right around, and a couple weeks later it's homecoming already. It's early in August this year, a little bit earlier than we're used to doing. And then, of course, we turn around, and it's another home football weekend, Apple and Pork. So we really, all the work that they did so far is really going to pay off because we have very little time once school starts to actually do all those things and be ready for performance. We talked about that. They stepped up this year, and they're going to be ready to go. So we've got a great bunch of seniors returning, and their leadership has been outstanding in making sure that everybody in their section's ready to go, that they know their music, they know when to move. But we also have an outstanding bunch of freshmen that came up. We've got about 35, 36 freshmen this year. And we started working actually on this music at the end of last year as soon as their concert was done in the spring to make sure that they were ready to go. But I tell you, after day one, I couldn't tell a freshman from an upperclassman. They were marching that great.
Wheeler says the band this year will be working up for a trip to Disney World again. The band is planning for some fundraisers for that this fall. If you know a band student, Wheeler encourages contacting that individual or their family for more on what they're up to this fall. In a game heard here on WHOW, Matt Chapman hit his 20th home run. Kyle Morrison went 6 strong innings as the Giants down the White Sox 5-3 Monday night.
It was a 5-3 loss for the Sox on Monday night. Jonathan Cannon looked to be cruising in this one, entering the 5th inning with only 3 base runners and no runs. But the Giants went on the attack in the 5th, putting 4 runs on the board. Devin Sheets continued his clutch run of hitting, coming into the game to pinch hit in the 8th and grabbing this RBI single.
0-2 to Sheets.
Liner into center. McCray on to play it. Can't get there. Lee waved around. He'll score without a throw. And Sheets comes up big. An RBI single, and the Sox cut into the lead. It's 5-3.
The Sox look to bounce back tomorrow. Davis and Martin on the mound for the Sox. Robbie Ray for the Giants. It's an 8:45 first pitch. 8 o'clock pregame show right here on the ESPN Chicago Hard Rock Casino White Sox Radio Network.
And you can hear tonight's action right here on WHOW as well. Get the latest in local sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
4-H means a year of fun and work, culminated with displaying their exhibits and animals at this year's fairs. Apex Clean Energy, our title sponsor for fair coverage, wants to thank the area 4-Hers for bringing their exhibits and activities to be judged in this year's fairs. You've made us all proud. A tip of the hat to our 4-Hers from Apex Clean Energy, growing a better future for local farmers and landowners in our local communities.
Fiber internet has come to Clinton thanks to Conxxus. That's right, Conxxus has brought fiber internet to Clinton with plans starting at just $19.99. And their 1 gig plan is just $39.99 a month. Fall in love with your internet again with incredible fiber internet right to your home. Get on the fiber internet superhighway in Clinton now by clicking the Conxxus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. Fiber internet has come to Clinton. Fiber not available everywhere. Terms and conditions apply.
Whether you're getting a little older or just wanting to focus on your health a little more, you need the advantages of a primary care physician from Memorial Care. From detecting long-term illness to planning long-term wellness, our physicians are with you every step of the way. Make today the day you start thinking about tomorrow's health. Make an appointment and begin having regular checkups. Physicians in the Lincoln area are currently accepting new patients. Visit memorial.health for more information.
Are you wanting to learn more about your health and wellness options in Central Illinois? Visit stealthwellness.com or click on my banner ad at DeWittDailyNews.com. Let me, Dr. Bill Byers, show you some simple, under-the-radar ways to improve and take control of your health.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. Although his appearance was pushed out of prime time, President Biden was greeted with thunderous applause last